we wanted to separate from being a band called Trap Them and Kill Them that was, a drum machine grindcore band, and turn it into something that is more of like a realistic element. So we dropped the last half of the name because it was a different band for the most part. It was a different version of what that was. And also the vagueness of what the name is now is much more open to interpretation, which makes it a lot more fun to have that name just as the music we make. It's not pinpointed. We didn't try to go play a metal show. We didn't go try to play a punk show or a hardcore show. We just kind of played shows that we felt like we would fit and be part of, like, the melting pot of whatever the show is. From me and Brian being in the, creating the band, it wasn't really necessarily about, like, finding people that had, like, specific, things they were excited about or specific genres that they were into. I think it was more about finding the right people that understood what we were doing more than anything. It didn't matter what they listened to, but it was more, we lucked out finding Galen and Brad.
And we listened to some cool shit to boot.
Yeah, exactly. I
think we all have, like, very, very similar styles of taste throughout music in general, so it happened to work out really, really well, I think. I'm sure I speak for Galen as well, but we both are, we enjoy this wholeheartedly, and it's awesome. It's just like a group of brothers at this point, just kind of hanging out and getting to play music together is more than I could have asked for. I'm getting the finger while I say that, but that's okay. There are lots of different influences for everybody in the bands from all genres of music, so by identification and by association, we're considered a punk, hardcore, metal band, whatever. So I think, I don't know, a lot of influence comes from a lot of rock as well.
The idea of doing a classic rock record isn't necessarily reflective of the music made or, the way it's, written. It's more about, like, you look back in the 70s and 80s and classic records aren't an hour long. 30-minute record with 10 songs, not a billion songs, not, a ton of, an hour long or anything like that. And it left it open to be able to, like, make a record that, had that feeling of something where you could listen to it beginning to end, not have to, like, skip over songs or anything like that. It's just there, like, as one piece of, like, one punch in the face and then you're done.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of missing days. There's words to Day 27, but there may not be a song, and people may never not know what Day 27 is. It's not done as a gimmick. I mean, it's done as something, the way to approach it different, and it actually isn't just something to blurt out. There is also that element of, like, I like not filling out all the blanks for people, and I'd rather have the lyrics be open to interpretation and stuff. It's a lot easier to do it that way than be a blunt, politician in a hardcore band. Got somewhat blown out of proportion more than what it actually is. You know what I mean? Like, the way I approach the lyrics is, far separated from, like, the way the music is written. Like, I write that stuff ahead of time, and yeah, I mean, it has an overall themology to it, but there's no... It's the same as writing regular, punk lyrics. I just kind of, like, extended it so that I could write it as different versions of different people and how they would approach saying things that are fucked. You know what I mean? Like, it has an overall tying theme, and it's all there, but, I mean, you're not going to read it from beginning to end and think it's a novel, because it's not. It's, it would be like interviewing 77 people and having 77 different replies to the same question.